Hi guys, long time no see. It's been a pretty crazy last year and a half since I put out a video, but um, obviously things are changing right now in the world with the coronavirus. So I've kind of felt it's my duty to put out this video, and I'm lucky in the fact that I don't give two shits what anybody thinks of me. So if anybody listens to this and thinks I'm a crackpot, I don't really care. The last few weeks has been pretty overwhelming for me on a personal level because as some of my friends know and people I have a few followers on here that are my personal friends that have witnessed some of the things. I have certain abilities, and one of the abilities is sometimes I have psychic predictions. And so before the coronavirus happened, I unfortunately got to see this coming, and I don't know why of all things I got to see this, but I got to see it before it came, and I got to see all the reason behind it. And I could put on an hour and a half long video explaining everything that's going to happen and who it's going to happen to and what's going to change in life and everything, because for whatever reason they gave me a pretty big description about what's coming here. And I hate to say it, after the death nothing's negative that's coming. It's actually all pretty positive, but it's going through the death right now that's going to be pretty rough. And the reason I want to put out this video is I can't change the outcome. The To make a long story short, the earth spent the last 10 years sending up natural disasters that were pretty big to try to wake people up to what they need to be doing to take care of the earth. The fires, the big wildfires, the hurricanes, tsunamis, earthquakes, all that stuff has been the earth sending up signals that she's stressed. And then of course, we had this idiot of president come in. I don't care if you like Trump or not. And if you do like Trump, you don't have to listen to me anymore because he's the worst thing that's ever happened to our country. But he came along and made what was going to be really bad art, 400 times worse, unfortunately. So we're screwed. But here's the deal. I'm making this video because this is going to be way worse than people understand. It's not only going to kill the 200,000 projected in the United States, it's actually going to kill millions in probably every country that supports that size of a population. Um, it's literally going to wipe out entire towns. It's going to wipe out half of big cities. It's gonna it's it's she's purging. She's taking care of population, and so she's taking the population down in a pretty dramatic fashion with the virus. So what I'm trying to warn you is I can't stop the events that are in play because the earth has to take care of herself, and I understand that as a living entity, we're all going to fight to the death to preserve ourselves at the end, which is what she's doing. But my hope is for those of you who know me personally and know I have abilities that you listen to what I'm saying here, because this is going to go on much longer than people think. Um, I don't know how long. The nice thing is that my spirit guides know that it would be overwhelming to ever let me see who's going to pass away, if somebody's going to pass away close around me or whatever, because obviously I'd be crazy if I knew that stuff. So I don't get to see those things, but I get to see the amount of destruction and death that's coming. And like I said, it's going to be pretty significant. It's going to literally wipe out entire towns. It's going to wipe out entire families. I mean, literally entire 7, 10, 20 people. This is, for lack of a better word, this is what most people envision an apocalypse as. Literally something so destructive happening to the earth that the earth forever changes. And that is what is going to happen here. Like I said earlier in this, the thing that comes out of this is when this is all over, and I'm very sorry for all the people who are going to die, including myself or anybody else in my family or anybody anywhere. But when this is all over, the outcome's actually going to be positive. And, if you ever want to know the rest of what my spirit gang told me about what's going to happen, I'll be happy to put out a second video. But that video is going to make, people call the cuckoo police on me and come get me, because the stuff I've been able to see and know is very in detail. It's very crazy. There's a lot. The earth is very clever in how she picked to protect herself this time. What she did was pretty well thought out, and like I said, it's going to have some good outcome after we get through this god awful next year of death. So my point behind this video, ladies and gentlemen, is not to tell you it's going to be okay. I want to scare the crap out of you. That's the reason I'm making the video, is to scare the crap out of you, because it's way worse. It's so much worse than people think. You know, right? I don't know what today's count is of how many cases we have in the United States today. And that number's like an eighth of how many people are really infected, if that tells you anything. On top of the problem is we all know, is all the people who are asymptomatic, which they're now predicting is about 50%, that are just walking around exposing other people. So here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to pay attention to what I'm saying, and I'd like you to not be one of the people that's not going to make it. The social distancing thing, it's so paramountly important, I can't even tell you. I don't care if you're young. I don't care if you're middle-aged. I don't care if you're old. Social distancing, but more than the 6 feet. The 6 feet is a joke because the virus goes in the air and can travel 6 feet. So that's a joke. You need to be in your home. You need to stay in your home. I don't leave my home. I don't leave my home at all. I don't go anywhere. I'm not going to go anywhere. When this first started, I wasn't smart enough to stockpile on the toilet paper, god darn it, so we're constantly searching for that. But when this first started, I made sure we were protected and we had enough stuff. And a part of me feels guilty about not telling this to people earlier, but the problem is what I've seen is so humongous and so crazy that I wanted to see if any of it played out at all before I made a fool of myself in a public arena and gave my thoughts on this, because I know that in a year you guys can all laugh at me and go, that crazy lady, oh my God, what an idiot, you know, half the people, nobody died, it was better, blah, blah, blah. And that's great. I hope that's the outcome. I mean, my husband also believes I'm a fatalist and going overboard with this, but my husband also knows I have abilities, so I also know he's a little scared because he knows I have abilities and he knows that maybe I do know something about what's going on. So I think there's some of that he says to just basically protect himself from being scared. And the good thing is he also is able to isolate at home. So, you know, we both work from home, which is great for us. But for those of you who don't, and for those of you particularly young people that think this is not going to affect you, you're an idiot. Because let me tell you, young people, the likelihood of you surviving is very high. However, if there's 24 of you in the emergency room and you're all between the ages of 20 and 35 and you all need a ventilator to get you past the rough spot for you to survive, and there's one ventilator for 25 people, that means 24 young people are going to die. So even people who shouldn't have died from this are going to die. And one of the things that also obviously makes this terrible is we have our dumpshit president buying up all the supplies and then trying to sell shit to the highest bidder. So I'm telling you too, if you plan on voting Republican, don't ever watch my videos again, because Trump is just evil. He's just evil, what he's doing. So there's your other problem you got. You got that even tons of people that could have been saved are not going to be saved just because we don't have the right equipment. And that includes young people. So my 28-year-old son also thinks I'm exaggerating and keeps saying, "Oh, you don't get it, Mom. You know, you're right. I've only been a nurse for 30 years. I have no idea how any of this works, honey. You're right." But yes, young people and middle-aged people are more likely to survive. However, if they don't have the proper equipment to help them survive, they're not going to survive. So we're literally going to have millions and millions of deaths, literally just due to lack of equipment, lack of medical care, lack of ability to get medical care. So that's why this thing is so frightening, because not only is it going to just kill tons of people who are just ill, but it's going to kill tons of people who just couldn't get effective medical care. So don't be one of those people. And like I said, I hope next year this video plays out poorly and people write to me and say, you asshole, you shouldn't have said those things and scared all of us. But that's not what's coming. What's coming is going to be an apocalypse, and it's going to be pretty awful. I have PTSD like we've never seen in this country, even with soldiers have gone to war, because the medical profession, after this is over, the ones who survive, by the way, the ones who survive, are going to be so traumatized by the fact that they watched colleagues die. They had to make decisions on who got the ventilator, knowing that the other 24 people were going to die. It's going to be pretty big. It's going to be all the stuff that's going to happen after this is over are going to be pretty big. But I'm just begging you. I'm begging you. I'm I did this video today for two reasons. One's very selfish because I haven't been able to sleep in months. I've been shreked. I cry all the time. I've been just bowled over by the knowledge I was given about this event for whatever unknown reason. And I'm hoping that sharing it with somebody at least gets some of it out of me so I can sleep again because I'm really tired of not sleeping. It's getting pretty old. So I'm trying to scare you. I'm trying to scare you. I hope you're scared. It's going to be scary. Literally, whole towns are going to be completely disseminated. Ghost towns. It's going to be something like nobody in this lifetime has ever seen, including people who went to war. It's going to be like nothing we've ever seen before. Life is going to change as we know it. But why don't you make sure you're one of the people that's around to enjoy life when the aftermath is over? Why don't you be one of those people that's smart enough to stay in your damn home and not feel like you got to run to the bar or the this or the that or blah, 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 blah. There is nothing short of food and medicine you need to be going out of your house for. Nothing. Don't be a statistic. Millions of people are going to die in our own country, not just the world, in our own country. Millions upon millions, multiple millions of people are going to die in this country this year. And next year as well. This is going to go for a while, people. But this year is going to be catastrophic as far as the loss of human life goes. Don't be one of them. Don't be one of them. Please don't. Obviously, anybody who watched this or most people watch this know me personally, and you meant something to me at one point in my life. And I don't want you to be the moron who thinks that this isn't going to happen to you because it just happens to everybody. And you could be a carrier. You could be a carrier out infecting everybody else and you're not even aware of it. Just don't be that idiot. Just live so that next year you can make fun of me in this video and tell me what a moron I was. That would be my greatest hope is everybody who listens to this video next year can comment on this video and is still here to comment on this video. That would be my hope and joy that all of you are still here. So don't be stupid. Don't go out. Social isolate. Do whatever you can to stay home. Just prepare yourself. Just get what you can out of this right now. I know a lot of people are scared with money and stuff. I get that. I know this doesn't help people, but for those of you who are scared about you lost your job or you're on unemployment and you can't pay your bills or whatever, just remember that part's going to be okay because the death toll in our country is going to be so high and so catastrophic that the government's going to have to do something to take care of the people. So if you can at least de-stress a little bit about that, because they're going to have to take care of people. Remember, right now we're in the beginning of this, where the rich Republicans are still trying to make sure all their rich friends are taken care of through this and trying to screw everybody else. But that's going to stop because as this goes along and thousands of more people start dying every day, because we're getting to that point where the death count every day in the United States is going to be daily in the thousands. Just be aware. Just be smart. Just know this will end, and when it's over, it'll actually be better in some ways. We're actually going to go back to some ways of living that we've been out of for 50 years, and really we need to go back to. But just take caution that this is not a joke. I'm actually going to write down every single thing I saw in a predictive sense and actually have my husband read it and sign it to show that I actually wrote it down today so that next year, if everything I wrote comes true, I can say, this is what I saw. And like I said, if you want me to put a video out that describes exactly what I saw, I can. But this is the main course. People are going to die. Every one of us is going to know somebody who died. Every single person except for mountain people and hermits are going to be affected by this. Every single person in the entire world, except for mountain people and hermits, are going to be affected by this. So their lifestyle is finally going to pay off for them in a big way. All right. Take care. Let me know if you want me to make that other video to tell you the rest of what's going to be happening. But for right now, that's enough of me. Stay home. Don't die, please. Don't be stupid. Young people die too. Just know it'll end, but it's going to be a long time before this is over. So huddle in, people. Get closer to your families. Hug your loved ones. Talk to people you haven't talked to forever. Say things to people you need to say. Because one of the problems with this virus is you can get sick that morning and be dead that night. There's just some people have just almost no warning before they're dead. So if you got anything that you need to take care of or do that you can do with people around your life, do that. Just in case you're not here or they're not here next week. All right? Take care. Thanks for listening to my spiel.